Now let's see the model of questions where we are going to, two people or more people are going to run on a circular track. Okay, so what kind of questions they can ask you here is, let us say there is a circular track. Okay, now assume that two people are starting from the same point. Alright, now what kind of questions they'll ask is, one is they might say that both are running in the opposite direction, which means one person is running this way and the other person is running this way, starting at the same time, and now their speeds might be different. Now they will ask you, when are they going to meet for the first time? Right, so how to solve it is, now if they are going to run in the opposite directions, if they have to meet, then both of them together are going to cover the entire circular track. So let us say they are going to meet somewhere here. Now what would have happened if they are going to meet somewhere there? It means that this person has to cover this entire track till here, and this person has to cover the entire track till here, right? So both of them are simultaneously going to cover the total length of the track. If we assume that the length of the track is L, this has to be covered by both of them, and since they are running in the opposite direction, you have to take the relative speed to be speed of A plus speed of B. If you assume that the speed of one person is A and speed of other person is B, this is the time taken by them to meet for the first time. If you want to understand it, if you are not able to understand it this way, so what you could do is just cut the circular track here and open it up. Cut it here and open it up in a straight line. Now when you open it up in this straight line, right, now you can understand that this person, one person is starting from here and running in this direction, and other person is starting from here and running in this direction. One is running with a velocity of BA and other is running with a velocity of B, right? Then it is same as we have seen that two bodies are moving in the opposite direction, and so we have used the relative speed A plus B, right? Now what is the other question that they might ask on this model is that in the circular track, if both of them are running in the same direction, right, which means this way, if both of them are running in the same direction, then when are they going to meet for the first time? So this question can be answered this way. So if both of them are going to run in the same direction with different speeds, now one of them will be going faster compared to the other one, right? Therefore, if they are going to meet at some point, then what is the meaning of it is, then the slower one might have reached that point, right, by that time the faster one might have covered the entire and then reached this point, right? If you observe it, the faster one would have taken one more round. Got it? Therefore, in case if if you are going to see that they are going to meet in this, when they are running in the same direction and meeting at a point, then you can definitely be sure that one of them might have taken one more extra round, isn't it? Now you have to find out the time taken by them to take that one more extra round, right? Extra round is of length L, and this round is covered by a relative velocity of A minus B. In case if you assume that A is greater than B, since they are running in the same direction, the relative speed is going to be A minus B, right? Therefore, in this case, this is the formula you can use, right? So what is it? L by A minus B. Now, one more question which they can ask you is, if they are running in the circle, right? Now, this question is about when they are going to meet first, this model. And one more model they can ask you is, when they are going to meet first at the starting point, right? Now, irrespective of which directions they are moving, the answer is always going to be same. Either they move in the same direction or in the opposite direction. If you are interested in finding out the time at which they are going to meet at the starting point, then when are they going to meet the starting point is the time whenever, if one person has taken X rounds and other person has taken Y rounds, right, then they are going to meet here, given that the time taken by one person to finish X rounds is equal to the time taken by other person to finish Y rounds. Whenever this time is equal, then you are going to get it, right? The smallest possible time in which one person can finish X rounds and other person can finish Y rounds. That is where they are going to meet. Now in order to find it out, you can find out the LCM, least common multiple, right? Okay, with example I'll explain you this. So how this is possible, I'll explain you with an example. Okay, now let's see this example here. I'll read it out for you. Now the first one is, Murali and Srinu started cycling from a point on the circular track of length 1200 meters with speeds of 30 meters per second and 10 meters per second respectively. Then find the time taken by them to meet for the first time if they cycled in opposite direction, if they cycled in the same direction. Now what they are trying to say is, there is a circular track, and the length of the circular track, this entire length is 1200 meters, that is what is given, and both are starting from the same point, Murali and, let's say both are starting from the same point, and Murali and Srinu. Now Murali is going to start, or Murali is going to run at 30 meters per second and Srinu is going to run at 10 meters per second, right? Now they are asking, what is the time taken, see this, find the time taken by them to meet for the first time if they cycled in the opposite direction, which means if one of them is moving in this direction and other one is moving in this direction, when are they going to meet? So I told you that they are going to meet exactly when both of them, let us say they are meeting somewhere here. Okay, what would have happened? One person might have covered till this point and the other person might have covered this entire distance, and now if you observe this, both of them are simultaneously going to cover the entire track, circular track, right? Therefore the total distance covered by them is L, and the speed at which they are covering is, if you assume that their individual speeds are A and B, it is going to be A plus B, because the relative speed here is going to be sum of their speeds as they are moving in the opposite direction, right? Now what is this? 1200 meters divided by A plus B, which means 40 meters per second. So this is going to be 30 seconds. Got it? So 30 seconds is the time required for them to meet when they are moving in the opposite direction. Now if they are moving in the same direction, then see this question, if they cycled in the same direction, then when are they going to meet for the first time, right? If they are moving in the same direction, what does it mean? See, it means that both of them are actually going in the same direction. Then what would have happened is, one of them might be at some point, and by the time he reaches that point, other one might have taken one extra round and he might have reached there, right? So in that case, since they are moving in the same direction as I explained you earlier, the relative speed is going to be A minus B, and with that relative speed they will be having a difference of exactly one cycle, and therefore the length L has to be covered with this relative speed, so which means by 10, right, which is going to be 120 seconds. Isn't it? So 20, right? Relative speed is A minus B is 20, so which is going to be 60 seconds, right? So now what do you understand by this? So let's try to analyze it a bit further. So I'm saying that at exactly 60 seconds they are going to meet for the first time. So let's see what happens. What happens in this 60 seconds? In 60 seconds, if you observe it, Murali will be covering 30 into 60. 30 into 60, which means it is 1800 meters, and Srinu will be covering 10 into 60, which means 600 meters, right? If you observe this, if I am starting from here, then Srinu is going to cover, see the Srinu speed is 10 meters, in 60 seconds what he would have covered is 600 meters. So what is 600 meters? Exactly half of it, right? Exactly half of it means Srinu would have covered till this point and he must be here, right? And now in the same time Murali has covered 1800 meters. So what is the meaning of it? Murali would have covered 1200 meters plus 600 meters. That is where they are going to meet. Got it? So it means that by the time let's say Srinu has covered half of the circular track, Murali has covered one full circular track, and then he has covered half. Therefore, they are exactly differing by one round. That is what we are finding it out. So for that one round, how much time would it have taken, right? By using the relative speed. Got it? And now the next one is find the time taken by them to meet at the starting point for the first time, right? That is next question. So when here we are not interested in just meeting at some point, we just want to see that both of them are going to meet at the same point, which is the starting point. So now I told you that we are going to use the method of LCM of the times taken by them. So let us see what I mean by this. Now time taken by Srinu in order to cover one cycle is, since the length of the cycle or the circular track is 1200 meters and the speed of Srinu is 10 meters per second, the time taken by him will be 120 seconds, right? And the time taken by Murali is 1200 meters divided by 30, so which means 40 seconds, right? Now if you take LCM of these two, the LCM turned out to be 120 seconds, isn't it? LCM of 120 and 40. Now I am saying that after 120 seconds they are going to meet at the starting point exactly, both of them are going to meet at the starting point for the first time. Now what is the meaning of it is, if you understand it, in 120 seconds what would have happened is Srinu would have exactly taken one round and he will be returning to the starting point. Now let us say this is the starting point. Now in 120 seconds Srinu would have taken exactly one round and he would have returned to the starting point, right? Now in that same 120 seconds, what would have Murali done is, Murali would have taken 3 cycles, isn't it? So now since time taken by Murali to cover one cycle is 40 seconds, in 120 seconds he would have taken 3 cycles, right? Therefore he would have taken 1, 2 and 3, right? So both of them are going to be at the same starting point after Srinu has finished one cycle and after Murali has finished 3 cycles. That is the meaning of it. Now this is going to be same even when they run in the same direction or in the opposite direction, right? Because we are not interested in meeting anywhere in the middle, we just want them to reach at the starting point. So either they run this way or this way, the time taken by them to cover the entire cycle is going to be same. That is why irrespective of the direction we are going to get the answer as 120 seconds. Got it? Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%, but all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.